want to thank God for the confirmation of what He would have me to preach on today. And it always works out that He shows me that, I don't never doubt Him. It's just sometimes I want to be absolutely sure that this is what God wants. I don't want to be of myself. I never want to speak of myself. I want it to be Him and what He wants to be, that He wants to say, because it's Him saying it. It's not, it's not me. And just that confirmation, it helps. And if I title it, it's going to be Check Your Fruits. I know it's been a while, but I think it was Steve, something about checking, somebody told somebody they need to check their fruits or something. But it stuck with me, about checking your fruits. And this is a daily thing. This isn't just once a week thing. It's a daily thing that you need to check your fruits, that you're lined up, with God. Because we represent God. Let me do my reading before I get started. Matthew 7, starting at verse 16. Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns, or figs of thistles? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewed down and cast into the fire. Wherefore, by their fruit ye shall know them. And it's true. You do know them by the fruits they bear. They can tell you that they're a Christian, but if they don't live, the way it says in the Bible that we're supposed to live, you're going to be doubting them. Just like if we was having a get-together here at church and I tell you I'm going to bring a strawberry pie and I bring an apple pie and I tell you that's a strawberry pie. Are you going to believe me? People and their fruits, it's the same way. So we've got to stay lined up with the fruits. And if you exercise them daily, and believe me, you'll get to exercise them daily, because there's always somebody out there that wants to test them. Every day. I don't care if you live by yourself, there's somebody. You're going to go to the store and somebody's going to test you on one of them. You got to come in line with them. And the more you exercise them, and the more that you do them and stay with them, the more you're apt to be able to follow them all. Not saying that nobody won't test you, because there's always somebody out there wanting to throw a wrench in the process, But in Galatians 5, starting at verse 22, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. Now, every one of these, I found the definition in the Bible for them. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Joy is expressing God's goodness. It is deep-rooted, inspired happiness. Peace is knowing that the Lord of the universe is by your side and resting in that. It is not just knowing, but it is also living it out. Peace is sitting in comfort and knowing that God is next to your side no matter what. Long suffering is having or showing patience in spite of troubles, especially these caused by other people. Gentleness is quality of being kind, tender, or mild mannered, wants to help others even when they have been done wrong. Goodness is holy, pure righteousness. It can be seen in your actions, but our hearts also has to be pure. The goodness of Christ is to be demonstrated in our lives every day. Faith is complete trust or confidence in someone or something, and for us it would be in God, that He is there. Meekness, an attitude or quality of heart whereby a person is willing to accept and submit without resistance to the will and desire of someone else. Temperance is restraint in action, thought, or feelings. Every day we need to check these before we go out, or some of you that has kids or whatever, I know y'all have to check y'all's real quick whenever they get up, but we've got to live this way. There's people out here watching us. If I was to walk into my workplace, that's where I mostly see people because, unless I'm out there mowing and somebody comes by and waves or whatever, but I don't talk to them. So, but if I was to walk into my workplace and act like a heathen, being hateful, just lashing out to them, throwing stuff, well, I'd probably be walked out then, but I mean, just acting like a heathen. If I was to walk in there doing this, and me saying that I have Christ in me, and the people that's in there that don't know Christ or don't have Him with them, are they going to want to follow Him? They'll think, good Lord, why would I want to leave from the way I'm acting now to acting like, being like that? So we've got to get serious about this. I mean, just like whenever Jesus, when He was on earth and stuff, He had every one of these. And people just gathered around Him because they was wanting that. It was a good light to show to them, and they was wanting to be around that. Now, if He was to go up there and act like a heathen or whatever, they wouldn't want to be around Him. And, with me, I know we have to be around people like, that is in the world and stuff. We don't have to partake of what they do. But I find myself not wanting to be around them. I mean, I never could stand negativity stuff. And I mean, if they're sitting there always just talking about Bertha better than you over here in the church, we don't do that. That's not even the beginning of one of these fruits. We can't talk about other people. We need to pray for them people. If they're not lining up with the Word or these fruits, we need to pray for them instead of going off and talking about them. We can't do that. We have to show our light. We have to show He's in us. We have to show Him, let Him come out of us. And it's just, I've always thought, I mean, if you say you love Jesus and you truly serve Jesus, why do you want to represent Him as a bad person? And that's exactly what we're doing. If we're not checking our fruits, we're representing Him as something that's awful. But we'll come to church and hold up our hands holier than thou, but we're representing Him out here which they need to see the true God. Some of them might not even know who God is because they might not have never been taught about it. And if we show them every day, I don't mean one day show them these fruits and next day you don't show them these fruits. It's an everyday process. It takes time and to build in these fruits. But we have to do it every single day. It don't matter how hard it is. We have to do it. If we say we are children of God and He lives in us, we've got to show Him. We can't show ourselves. We've got to show Him. Because that was the old man as they talked this morning. That's the old man. We can't bring out that old man whenever we feel like we're not getting our way or somebody really angers us or whatever, you know. We can't do this. Because just the same as that, you know, Christians looks at other Christians. And I'm not talking about them, but I have seen them to where I'm like, you need to go pray. And I've even told them that because, I mean, I wasn't judging them. It's like, something's off there. You know, one of these fruits it's about rotted here. We need to get control of this one. But, you know, I don't want to represent Jesus as a bad person. I want to represent Him because when He died on this cross, He loved us so much that He didn't say, well, Lord, I'm not going to do that because they're going to be awful, or, you know, He didn't think about that. He wanted to represent His Father. And He loved us enough, even though we was heathens, to die on this cross for us, that we would have a chance to be able to represent Him and the Father as He did the Father. And we've got to do this every day. If you find yourself, you know, with having trouble with one of these, go pray. Say, Lord, help me with this. I'm having trouble with, just say, loving this person. Because you know the way they are. You know, you see them. You know the way they're doing me. You know what they're saying about me. You know, Lord, please help me with love because I'm having a hard time wanting to show love to this one. Whenever you want to throat punch or jerk them up or whatever. But we can't act like that. We're not heathens. We're Christians. Christ-like. Christ followers. We follow Christ. We represent Christ. Now we need to be acting like Christ. We need, and people needs this. People needs love. People needs the peace, the joy, to see this stuff so they would want to follow Christ just the same. It ain't just whenever you give your heart to God, oh, well, I don't have to do nothing else. You know, I'm okay. I ain't worried about them down the road. You know, they're heathens anyway, and I don't see them changing. No, that's not what it is. We are supposed to shine forth the light and show them these examples of the spirit of the fruits, so they would want to follow Christ too, because that's what Jesus did, and they followed Him. A lot of them followed Him because it was different. And you know, when you feel that somebody loves you, well, you want to be around them. And if you feel that peace of nothing's going to happen to me, you know, I'm at peace, you know, I'm going to be taken care of. Whether it's your spouse or whoever, you would want to be in that environment. And the rest of them. You know, if you're sitting and throwing the ungodliest fits I've ever seen, like a kid that didn't get a piece of candy at the store, down on the floor, slamming your head and not acting crazy like, you ain't going to be wanting to stand around that very long. I don't. I want to walk away because that's embarrassing. But, I mean, for a grown child to be acting like that, it's embarrassing. And you won't, nobody else will want to be around it neither. Because you can see people's faces looking at them like, could you do something with that or something? But that's the way with us as an adult. Adults act just like that. If they don't get their way, they're stomping and slanging that head and saying choice words or whatever. I don't want no part of that. But I have to pray for them. I have to still show them the love, even though I know they're adults. I work with adults, but you think they're kids. But I still have to show them the love and the joy. And people says, I don't understand the things you go through. How are you like this? I look straight at them and say, Jesus. That's the only way I am what I am. And I choose to have good fruits. I don't choose to carry or to serve other people bad fruits. I wouldn't want it served to me if I was in that shape. You know, because everybody wants love. And there's some people that needs the long suffering, the patience with them, because not everybody is you. Not everybody is built like you. There's people that it takes a little bit longer to get a hold of, to be able to break through that heart. They're not you. I always remember that. They're not you. You're different from them. And if they got things going on, if they're say they're drug addicts or whatever, it's hard to break that. It's hard to get away from that. But if you keep on and keep on, showing them that you do love them, it don't matter what they do. Sooner or later, they're going to come around you. They're going to come and start asking you questions about it. And that's when that door opens to where you can witness to them about Jesus and that they can get out of that situation. They don't have to stay in that situation. As long as they said last night, surrender. As long as you surrender, He'll take care of the rest. But always check your fruits. Before, and bridle your tongue, before you lash out or say something. Because once you say something or do something, you can't take that back. And even though, I'll just use me, so even though somebody does something to me, and they say something to me, or they do something to me, even though I follow Christ, and I try to I live in these fruits, my mind still thinks of things that people says, and they do, that's mean and hateful. It don't never leave. I mean, it just always, every once in a while, it'd come up. Even though, but we can't lash out the way they lash to us. So we have to keep a check on these. And the more you do, the better and easier it gets to be able to follow every one of these. I know at first it might be a little bit hard, but you got to practice, just like they was talking about running. You got to keep on keeping on. And as long as you practice this every single day, it gets easier as the time goes on. I'm not going to say that you may not slip up. We all do. Sometimes I do on one or two of them or whatever. But as they say, the grace is there. That don't mean that we can continue doing it after we ask God to forgive us. We got to work on it more of doing it the way of good fruit, not bad fruit. So check yourself, check your fruits every day. And be serving the fruits of Jesus to give him a good, I don't know if you call it reputation or whatever, just that he is good and that he is worth following. You know, we got to service to people that don't know him or they did know him and they walked away from him, which they know, but sometimes they got to be reminded because they lose their way because Satan is always out here, or his little friends or whatever they are, is out here trying to lead you astray. And sometimes people goes because the stuff is so good, it looks so good that you just go on, and before you know it, you're already wrapped up. You're already out. But we still have to show them. And we have to check our fruits daily. So if you find yourself struggling with one of them, pray about it. God will help you with them, because I've had to ask for him to help me with some. And he did. And I thank God he did. Because the outcome of me, and I'm not boasting, of doing the fruits, I see the outcome. And it's wonderful to know that just to know that they made it home. Just to know that they made it home. That's worth more than anything in this world. Because at first you think they don't have a chance or they don't want the chance. But when they make it home and you know they made it home, it's worth everything. So please exercise these fruits, the good fruits, not the bad fruits, so more people can make it home. Because that's what we're working for, is to see the lost saved, for them to make it home. I don't want to see nobody die and go to devil's hell. It's not intended for us. I know we can't, not everybody will, because it's their choice. But we've got to be presenting. If you say you're a child of God and you're serving Christ, you've got to be doing the good fruits so these people can make it home. And we can see them someday. That's going to be so glorious. To be able to see the ones that you thought they'll never make it, or they'll never change or whatever, but they do. They do. Don't let Satan told me that for years. But I seen it. I seen the change. And I know they made it home. So check your fruit daily. Serve good fruit for people that's out there. Because we're not heathens. We're not. So we don't need to be acting like them. Because we have Christ in us, and he's not a heathen. He is such an awesome person. Awesome. So let's represent him and not the world. Because they need to see it. They need to see it. So check your fruit daily. If everybody want to find a place to pray.